What's happening, lads? Welcome to episode 32 of the Challenger Sorare Road to Glory. Hope you're all doing super well. Apologies, there was no episode last week because of international break. Of course, there was no games to preview. We could have reviewed, Gameweek 62's lineups, but we'll do that in this video today and then look forward to Gameweek 66 this upcoming weekend. So if you do enjoy, please do leave it a like. Please subscribe if you're new to the channel, lads. If you're completely new to Sorare and you've managed to find this video, there is a link in the description that will help you out, get you some free market credits once you purchase your first 5 cards from the auctions or instant buy specifically, not from the secondary market or manager sales, I think they call it now. But yeah, anyway, we need to recap episode Game Week 62 and then look forward to Game Week 66. I've got a ton of cards to give away, so leave your comments. Let me know your Sorare gallery name in the comment section. Leave a like on the video, as always, please, lads, if you do enjoy. And I'll give away, I've got a ton of cards to give away. So, just leave your Sorare gallery name, and I'll be sending a few offers over before the deadline as well, so you can have them before this upcoming weekend. But anyway, I need to recap Game Week 66. We brought in a couple of forwards for that weekend, which was Mitchell van Bergen. I bought 2 of him. I thought he was far too cheap. He scored pretty well that weekend. I thought he'd get a decisive. He didn't. It was 1-1, but 17, nearly 18 all-around score is very impressive. So I think it's money well spent, honestly, at this stage of the season. Big Matt's Colert was £1.16. He did get a decisive, so he was a nice bit of good luck that weekend, but unfortunately it didn't really count for too much. Our best scoring lineup was 309 points, which was this top one, of course. Simon Banza getting an array of decisives, goal, assist, and a penalty conceded. I don't know what he's doing, lads. It's the second time this season that's happened, which results in basically no all-around score. Visca got some nice all-around score, but just no decisive to go with that Banza. Sort of triple, hat-trick of decisives, I guess. Ferraro with some nice all-around score. Mirani and De Kaiser with some good all-around score, but no clean sheets, which means we miss out on cash. Just over 400 points was the benchmark for top 550, which would have got you £3, 13 pence. Yeah, we were off it. We won a bit of XP for our troubles. Mats was in here. Van Bergen was in here. Al Karauni was in here as well. And of course, I captained the lowest scoring outfielder in Maxime. I just cannot predict when that guy ends up scoring his high scores. Every time I play him, he just blanks. And every time I don't play him, he seems to score well. Lars Unestal and Twente conceding 6 against Feyenoord is worrying, to be honest, at home. And then the rest of the 20 boys in here, alongside Van Bergen, who is a 20 card, but isn't playing at 20 right now. And Vereb scoring pretty well. They conceded 2 goals and luckily didn't concede the third. Just disappointed. We were close. Is there a lineup there that wins cash? If we swap Colert with Mirani, what's that? 77, 30 points. We're still 60 odd points away. It's just all about getting, one, obviously high scores. There wasn't a high score to see there. Okay, Vlap gets a decisive, marginally outscores Visca, but there's no 80 plus there, and unfortunately you're going to need a couple of them in a lineup to really hit for cash. So it is what it is. There's scores there, but not enough to where I see a potential. There just isn't a potentially winning lineup there, which is fine. We've had an international break to dust ourselves down. I have calculated and inputted the floor prices of all our players, which if you're new to this or haven't mentioned it in a few weeks or episodes, every card that I'm left with by the end of the season is given away to you guys, every single one of them. So it doesn't matter what their floor price is, but it is just good for us, I think, just to gauge and keep track of how this season goes. How do these in-season cards go from 50 quid at the start of the season, 10 quid at the start of the season, £10, and by the end of the season they're £1, even though they've had a good season. And it's obviously, of course, due to the in-season abilities that you can use these cards in, the amount of games, the amount of cash that you can or are playing for every week, that has a premium and that will decline and deteriorate over the season, because by the end of the season, there's no games left to win cash, right? That in-season card becomes classic at the end of the season. So, it is a bit of a rat race, in season in that sense. It's all about mainly getting in quite early, but if you're getting in early, you're paying premiums for that. But at the same time, you're getting in early because you want to try and start yielding cash as early as possible. So there's a fine line with it, and it's very hard to get right. But anyway, as you can see, lads, it is a sea of red, unfortunately. The majority of our players are down from where we bought them from, and for a variety of different reasons, mainly probably underperforming. But the main reason is we're getting towards, we're getting close to the end of the season. Gallery value last week was £36. Right now it's just under £30 after adding in, the 3 players that we bought in a couple of weeks ago. And yeah, it doesn't worry me. We started with 20 quid. Our gallery value is still more than that, and we've got a balance of, just under £13. So if I was to sell it right now, not that that's going to happen. Of course, I'm giving all these cards away. But if I was to do that, we're still 100% in profit, technically, right? If we could sell for floor price plus what we've got in our balance, that's still very successful. Anyone come onto this game, whether you come on with 20 quid, £200, £2,000, if you can double that, you're doing pretty well, I would argue. I know the season isn't finished or anything, and the goal is to use these cards and run them into the ground, like the in-season cards we've got. That's my goal, because I want to win as much cash as possible to buy more cards to give away to you guys at the end of the season, basically. So that's the goal of this series, just to show you guys it is possible to play on a budget, and a low one at that, and still, not compete, because we haven't won that much, I'll be honest. The majority of our wins have come from selling cards for profit. Like Jacob Brown was our last one. We sold him for £10 profit, At this stage of the season, I don't think you're going to really see that many big jumps just because of the lack of utility. There's only max 10 games left for the majority of these players. So not many people are going to be, buying cards for £2.50 and selling them for 12. It's just not really going to happen because there's just not enough utility left in these in-season cards. Of course, next season, you can still use them. You just can't really use them in-season as much because they turn classic, right? So yeah, that's the timetable, the spreadsheet out the way. Why I had timetable in my head, I do not know. Anyway, we can kind of X out of that. These are just, of course, all our players. One thing I will be doing, though, actually, we could do it now. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to increase some of these, some of the XP, on cards that we're going to be using this weekend. And, yeah, increasing the XP because, I shouldn't be leaving XP on the table. I'm just looking at a couple of these now, the obvious ones. We'll have to do big Lars, don't we? We've got 4,000 XP to play with. I'm just looking at some of the cards that, I'm kind of confident that we'll be using this weekend. Some of these are going to require, a good amount of XP to add on, but I'm not scared to do that necessarily. Who else am I probably going to use this weekend? We're probably going to use Mats, aren't we? Let's throw him in there. The 20 boys are playing Heracles, actually. So we've got a lot of our lads playing against each other this weekend. Let's just do Bart, because he's one of our best players. Let's do Vlap as well, even though it's going to cost us a good amount of XP. Is there anyone else we can upgrade with the remainder? It doesn't look... Well, no, not really. Let's just do that then. Let's spend 3,365 XP on a few of those cards. And now they have higher percentages now. Otherwise, you're leaving XP. You're leaving points on the table at the end of the day if you're not if you're not increasing the XP of your cards. Now we will be using, of course, Predictify to cross-reference the lineups and the predictions on Sorare data. But kicking it off then with the goalkeeper choices as usual. 2 homes, 1 away. 2 of our players or 2 of our teams are playing each other this weekend. 20 are away to Heracles, which is not ideal, is it? We're going to have to make sure that we split those up accordingly. But Verib's at home to Westerlo. I mean, that is a very evenly matched game. I like it. Do I like it more than 20 away to Heracles? I don't think I do. I think Lars Unestal gets the sort of primary job. let's put it that way. This weekend, Colit's away to Utrecht, which I don't really like. Obviously, we've got Bart van Rouge, who could pair nicely with Unestal. El Karauni, though, is at home against Mats and against Herenveen. I think that's probably the play, to be honest. I'm going to keep the Dender boys, like the defenders, together with the keeper. I'm just going to move on to midfielders just to see. Ooh, we've got Visca as a AAA at home. Vlap's away. Coop Miner's away. Ferraro's at home, but that's a nice fixture against Westerlo. The Kersmike is obviously playing against 20, so he's not a card that I would want to play against Unestal necessarily. And then we've got a couple of cards here that are probably not going to be playing for a variety of different reasons. I mean, Visca's the play, really, isn't he? But he's classic, so we need to make sure that we can fit him in somehow. Now, one thing I did want to check, right, is Brahimi back in the side? Because, yeah, this is what I was worried about. 20% behind both of those, which means he's less likely to start than other weeks, in weeks previous. But another thing I want to check is Simon Banza all good? Is he fit to play? Because if he is, no, Banza's out. Oh, he's suspended. Gutted. Banza suspended for one of the better games this season. That's okay, because we did bring in a couple of Mitchell Van Bergens, who is away to Fortuna. That is a fine enough fixture for me. I'm quite happy to play him there, because that then means we can play Visca as the classic. We couldn't use Rot and Visca, of course, in the same lineup. And I'm quite tempted to go El Karauni and Van Rouge and go double defence, El Karauni, Visca, and of course Van Bergen, Van Rouge. I think Visca probably gets the armband. It could be El Karauni as well, but I think Visca's due. Visca's due a decent score, I think. For the secondary lineup, it has to be the Den, the boys to kick it off. Kobe Cools or Royson. Royson didn't play last game. Let's have a look at what that looked like. Was there a big reason? Oh, we don't have Dender predictions yet. That's okay. I think Kobe Cools makes sense for now. We've still got Vlap to use. We've still got Ferraro to use. I think I'm going to keep Ferraro with his teammates there. It's either Van Bergen or Dan Rott, realistically. And I think I'm going to go Rott and pair him with Vlap. Just in case there's a little double decisive there for us. I'll give Vlap the armband despite being away. I still don't mind it. And then it's of course, unfortunately for the Heracles boys, despite being at home, they are in the worst fixture of the three. We'll play Kohler here. We can play De Keismaker in here as well. Brahimi's probably coming off the bench at best, so let's go let's go Big Mitchell. I was just again going to check if he's on, and unfortunately, because it's Wednesday, we don't have predictions yet on Predictify for a decent amount of the leagues, but we do for the majority of the Belgium league. We can still play a classic here, so we could go Coop Miners, who's, to be fair, he's been on fire recently, hasn't he? I didn't realise that. That kind of shocked me. I think he's a no-brainer. I think he slots in there against NEC. And it's still, for the third lineup, that's still pretty strong. We don't have any Eredivisie, do we? Do we have anyone else in the Jupiler League that we can check on? Or that we need to check on? Yeah, what is Gary Magny's... Okay, so Magny's on to play. Does he get in ahead of De Keismaker? Sorry. I don't think he's far off, to be honest. But at the same time, you never know. 20 could concede a couple, which would kill, obviously, our main lineup with Unistal. But Jesus, lads, when was the last time we had 84, 82, and a 76 lineup strength score? I can't recall when that was. And it looks like we have 3 D2s as well, which is nice. We're just knocking on that door of D1, aren't we? Can we eventually... Can this be the weekend that we get a team or teams into Division 1? Because that would then really incentivize me to go out and buy a couple of decent cards. Now, going back to the spreadsheet without looking at it, obviously I was saying a lot of the players are down right now because the utilities decreasing it. It makes a lot of sense, right? That also helps us because if we've got a cash balance, that means our buying power is a little bit better right now, right? Or more powerful because the prices have gone down, our balance has stayed the same. So, we're in a better position at that point. That's not to say I'm going to go out and buy any cards this weekend because I don't really think I need to, honestly. We brought in a couple of forwards last week. We've got a bit of defender depth now. Honestly, I think I'm pretty happy with what we've got to work with there. I'm going to import these lineups into Sorare just in case I forget to do it on Friday because I haven't done that before, but I'm sure it'll happen at some point, which, I don't really want to play with fire there. We'll click got it, and that should be the Challenger lads all locked and loaded for Gameweek 66. And there they are. All Sunday? No, a couple of Saturdays, some Sundays. I'm excited, genuinely. What is the most we can win this weekend? $250 for first place, okay. I would take $4, honestly, at this point, or £4. As long as we get promoted into Division 1, because that's the promised land, isn't it? That's where we want to be. I'm excited, genuinely. I think all those teams are quite evenly matched, although the first team is still probably better, according to Sorare data. And I'd say, from a personal standpoint, it is a good lineup as long as Unistal doesn't shit the bed away to Heracles. It's just annoying that a couple of our players are playing against each other. That's the only downside, right? Because both or all three of the lineups can't all do well, really, right? Because if Flap scores, well, that means De Kaiser's not kept a clean sheet. He could get a lot of all-around score. I'm not doubting that, but there's a lot of things that need to happen for everything to do well here. But I would take 2 out of the 3, even 1 out of the 3 of these lineups. Getting a bit of cash. And I was just gonna have a look just before we leave. Just what are the matchups looking like in Challenger this weekend? I genuinely haven't really looked yet, so this will be a nice little surprise maybe to see. Hopefully, a couple of our players and teams flying pretty high. So what is that there? I mean, it's always good when you see a championship team at the top because you can't have too many in-season cards of those apart from Burnley. Leeds at home, Sporting away, Benfica away. Lads, this is the week. Feyenoord at home to go ahead. Sivasspor's up there. Oh my God. This doesn't seem right. This doesn't seem right, lads. This is going to be on paper here, a really low-scoring Challenger week. Genuinely. Burnley are at home, okay. Copenhagen are at home. PSV are at home, but they're playing Ajax. I'm not too worried about that. Club Brugge is at home to Anderlecht, not an easy game. USG at home to Antwerp, not an easy game. A lot of the powerful teams in Challenger are all playing away from home. Lads, I'm telling you, this could be the week. I really do think that this is going to be one of the lowest scoring weeks in Challenger, not history, but definitely one of the lowest scoring weeks this season. I'll put my neck on the line and say that. Genuinely, I'm not seeing anything crazy here. We're down to 44% win percentage already. That's exciting. That is really exciting for our lineups. Honestly, that's made me feel really happy. Genuinely, I think this is the weekend. Honest to God, now, something will go wrong. There'll be a couple of DMPs now, and they'll just absolutely just destroy me. But let me get that out of my head. I shouldn't think that way. That's too negative. But anyway, lads, I hope you have enjoyed the episode. Let me know in the comment section how you got on this past weekend. Leave your Sorare gallery name because I'm going to give away a ton of cards. If you're brand new to Sorare, like I said, there's a link below that will help you with some market credits once you've bought your first couple of cards. And before I do go, if there is anyone interested in joining my members section, where you get a monthly gallery review, which will happen in the next few days, I'll dissect your gallery, let you know what I think about it, let you know the moves that I think you should sort of do going forward or not maybe. Yeah, and obviously there's a private Discord. I build your lineups twice a week. It's £1 a week, £4 a month, and it massively helps me out. It keeps the lights on around here. And it's an amazing community that we've built over on Discord. No pressure, just letting you know. Like I said, hope you have a great day, lads, and I shall see you guys in the next episode.